Morning, everybody.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
Wow, they're not up yet. We can tell. Morning, everybody.
Morning, Mr. Chairman.
I call this calling on Representative Struzzi to introduce a guest.
Angelo Gentili is job shouting me today. He is a 10th grader at Indiana High School. So welcome again, Angelo. He's having a great day so far, very interested in political science, and he is just in awe of everything here today. So thank you.
You're going to learn a whole lot today. All right? You hang with me, you'll be all right. Okay, first thing we're going to learn is to dress right. You got to get the red tie off and put the blue tie on. Okay, that's called majority, okay? Huh?
Okay.
So we went out to Indiana County. We loved your county. We did a transportation hearing over the summer there. It was very nice, and I enjoyed it. I actually went to a couple museums and took in a couple of local fair food when I was out there. But we had a great time out there and met a lot of interesting people. Your county commissioners all spoke at our hearing. It was a good hearing. It was a good hearing. Learned a whole lot. Before I take roll, we have a special chairman at large who stands in for, needs no introduction. He's the largest guy in the chamber. So please, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say welcome to everybody. It's good to be back. And Angelo, welcome to you. Indiana, the hometown of Jimmy Stewart. And when I played basketball at Altoona, we played Indiana every year. They were in District 6 with us, and you had a lot of great athletes and good people coming out of that high school. So
Indiana's Hoosiers and stuff
Indiana,
like that, right?
yeah.
You got the curve,
I think
they're
back in the
Hoosiers.
day, you guys might have been the Indians or something. I can't remember. Are they still the Indians? Okay, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you're out of order. We don't talk like that.
Well, welcome, Angelo, and I hope you enjoy your time and get to see some things that you otherwise wouldn't get to see. And Mr. Chairman, it's always good to see you and the members of the committee, and look forward to being back and getting some work done here for a little while. Thanks.
And before we take roll, we saw Representative Cabell came in with a handful.
They were late. They made me late, Mr. Chairman.
All right, would you like to get on the microphone and introduce your friends you brought today?
Love to, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. So I have the honor of...
There's one right there, Rook, if you want to go up there.
Even better. Even better. Well, thank you.
We're trying to be nice to everybody.
So I brought 3 boys from Drums Elementary, from the great 117th district. We have my son Julian Cabell, we have Jason, we have Cooper here. They're going to be guest paging for us, so make sure we keep them busy throughout the day.
It's not so busy over where you sit, from where I sit, but we'll go there. Can we take roll call, please?
Chairman Nielsen,
Here.
Bellman,
Designation?
Curry,
Designation.
Hohenstein. Here. Mark Hosick. Here. McAndrew.
Here.
McNeil.
Designation?
Mullins. Here. O'Mara.
Designation?
Pisciatano.
Designation.
Razi.
Designation. Here. Online.
Schusterman.
Designation.
Siegel. Warren.
Designation. Online.
Chairman Schmidt.
Here.
Cabell.
Here.
Benninghoff.
Designation.
Designation.
Devanzo.
Designation.
Labs.
Designation.
Ortitai.
Designation.
Shuren.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Stambaugh.
Here.
Struzzi.
Here.
Warner.
Designation.
Thank you. We have a quorum. The first item on our agenda is House Bill 2582, introduced by myself. I move to consider House Bill 2582. Is there a second?
Second.
You ready? Kyle, can you please give us a summary of the legislation?
House Bill 2582 by Chairman Ed Nielsen. This bill requires PennDOT to include at least one question on the written driving test about how to drive safely in a work zone. This bill also requires a minor to view educational materials on the dangers of unsafe driving in work zones prior to testing for a junior driver's license. The driver's manual must also include a section related to driving safely in a work zone, along with penalties. This bill is supported by the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission, Flagger Force, the DUI Association, and Columbia Gas Company. There is no opposition, and there are no amendments filed to the bill.
Throughout this session, we've talked about work zone safety, and we implemented some speed camera bills and some other cautious things. We just want to make sure this legislation makes sure that the younger, new drivers actually know what's happening out there and educate themselves. Are there any comments or questions on the legislation on House Bill 2582? Seeing none, are there any negative votes on House Bill 2582? Seeing none, House Bill 2582 is unanimously reported as committed. The final item on the agenda is Senate Bill 1147, introduced by Senator Camara Barlata. I move to consider Senate Bill 1147. Is there a second? Chairman Schmidt. Second. Kyle, can you please give us a summary of the bill?
Senate Bill 1147 by Senator Camara Bartolotta. This bill changes the requirement to allow motorcycles to receive annual safety inspections at any time during the year, like cars and trucks. Currently, motorcycles can only receive safety inspections between the months of March and October. Safety inspections will be valid for 1 year from the expiration of the safety inspection sticker, similar to cars and trucks. This bill is identical to House Bill 2177 by Representative Kyle Mullins, which was unanimously approved by the House Transportation Committee earlier this year and passed the vote unanimously earlier this year. This bill is supported by the administration, the Alliance of Bikers Aimed Towards Education, the Pennsylvania Automotive Association, the Pennsylvania Power Sports Dealers. There is no opposition, and there is one amendment filed to the bill. Amendment A05688 by Chairman Nielsen. This amendment inserts provisions from the following bills. House Bill 538 by Representative Zach Mako to allow motorcyclists to wear headphones or helmets with built-in headphone capabilities. This bill was unanimously approved by the House Transportation Committee last year and passed the House by a vote of 198 to 2 earlier this year. ABATE and the American Motorcycle Association supports this bill, and there is no opposition. Second, House Bill 35 by Representative David Maloney and House Bill 1283 by Representative Mary Jo Daley to give local authorities the option to install pedestrian plazas and parking protected bicycle lanes between a curb and parking lane. House Bill 12, this language was unanimously approved by the House Transportation Committee last year and passed the House by a vote of 198 to 5 last year. The administration, the City of Philadelphia, the Bicycle Coalition of Greater Philadelphia, Sierra Club, Clean Air Council, and the School Bus Association support the bill, and there is no opposition. And finally, House Bill 2364 by Representative Josh Siegel to require PennDOT to charge a nominal registration fee for courses offered through the Motorcycle Safety Education Program that will be refunded to the registrant after attending the course. PennDOT will determine the amount of the refundable fee, not to exceed $50. Any non-refunded fees will be deposited into the Motorcycle Safety Education account, and PennDOT must complete a report on the effectiveness of this fee within 18 months of the effective date. This bill was unanimously approved by the House Transportation Committee earlier this year and passed the House by a vote of 202 to 0 earlier this year. ABATE supports this bill, and there is no opposition.
So Kyle explained it pretty well. This is a whole barrage of legislation that we've passed through this chamber, through this committee, and trying to package it up in the hopes of getting this over the threshold. We only have 9 legislative days, and we thought this is the best way to get them all together so maybe they can get brought up over in the Senate to send them a message that this is something we want to get done. On that, I'd recognize any comments or questions on the legislation. I'd start out by seeing if Representative Mullins would like to speak, because this is part of his bill, and also Representative Siegel, because this is also his bill within, that I kind of like borrowed to steal to make it work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and for the opportunity to briefly just speak on the matter. It's a good bill, and I am pleased and proud that we are considering this again in committee, and not really caring whose name's at the top as long as it's one that's at the finish line. And looking forward to this hopefully getting to the governor's desk for a signature. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
I would just add, Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the work to move this bill forward. It's a minor change just to make sure we're compliant with PennDOT's concerns, to make sure going through a massive software update. It's after 40 years or so. Like, they're still operating on a MS-DOS or something. So I had to look that up because I have no idea what that was, but well before my time. But but I appreciate.
Close to the edge here.
So
That's an important kid just left. I'm going to show you with the majority. Listen, they give you a hammer up here. This is pretty good.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you. The last piece would be the protected bike lanes. This has been kicked around in this chamber for at least 10 years. We did kick it out of the chamber once, and we just want to make sure that this is part of it, because this is not a mandatory, this is an option. It gives local authority the option to put in protected bike lanes. We saw what happened, some tragic endings of people's lives, and it has to stop. So we want to just make sure the locals have the options to put protected bike lanes in there if they want. So I ask for support. Any other questions or comments on the legislation? Representative Hohenstein.
Thank you, Chair.
Stein.
And I'm going to
Stein.
take the dangerous position of disagreeing with you about previous comments that you made about red and blue ties. I've got my purple tie on, and I'm going to comment on the fact that your work on this bill to include all of these different pieces.
The
There we
chairman
go.
have blue ties on,
There-
Joe.
well, there we
Just
go.
wanna, stop,
But I think this bill is one of the best examples that we've had of bipartisanship. Your inclusion of various bills from both sides, and in particular the parking protected bike lane bill, is something that I know Chair Maloney has been championing for many years. Chair Daley has also picked that up. Previous rep, Sarah Innamorato, also had this as one of her primary issues. And I'm hoping, like you just said, that the Senate will understand that this is something, and that this entire package is something for us to support, because it's going to lift up safety for all of those folks who are driving or riding on two wheels. And I just want to comment that that's a good thing.
Thank you. Representative Struzzi.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very supportive of all of these bills that are in the amendment, as we all voted unanimously to support them on the House floor. But I'm curious, have we had actual discussions with the Senate on this amendment? Or are they agreeing to it, or are we doing this to draw attention to the fact that these bills have been sitting? I'm just wondering, if we do this amendment, is this going to kill the entire bill when it goes back to the Senate?
I've had discussions. I've had discussions with the maker, the senator. I told her that this was happening, and she understood it. This is kind of like above our pay grade, I want to say. As negotiations go forward the last 9 days, we just want to make sure that this is at the table. We want to make sure these are very important bills that we thought as a committee, we thought enough to get them over early enough for them to take action. So we're trying to get the action taken. Whether they take action with some of this legislation, some of the House bills have come out of their committees over there. They're just sitting on third. They're just sitting there on the table. So we're just bringing attention. We're not going to let up on this. These are important issues for the chamber over here in a bipartisan manner, and we're not going to stop. If we don't get it this year, it's going to be the first stuff we're going to handle next year during next session. And Grace by being still here.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? So none. On the amendment, are there any negative votes on Amendment A05688? Seeing none, Amendment A05688 is adopted. We're now on Senate Bill 1147 as amended. I ask the members to support the bill as amended. Are there any questions or comments on the Senate Bill 1147 as amended? Seeing none, are there any negative votes on 1147 as amended? Seeing none. Senate Bill 1147 is unanimously reported as amended. Well, later today, we're going to see a couple changes come out on the committee. There's been an email circulated already, and we just wish farewell and to the members that are leaving, and good luck to the ones that are coming. I don't want to stay. I'm hoping this isn't our last meeting of the session, but if it is, I want to make sure I go on the record to say thank you all the members here, for working with us and working in a bipartisan way to get things done. We were unable to make it to Altoona. I guess that's why we have our stand-in today. So just to remind me that we did try. We had it on the schedule. We just couldn't get there. And we apologize for that, but we try and make it all across the state. And I thank you all for participating and being an active member of this committee. And I want to say active because that's what we've all been, very active. There's not a person here that has not been active, who's not been on the phone with me to talk about their issues and how we can make some issues better as they go through. Any other good for the organization before I adjourn there, Chairman?
I just want to thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's always a privilege. And thank the members of the committee. They've worked hard, and I think we have a great group of people here. And this is the one committee I think that truly does work in the most bipartisan fashion, probably in the entire chamber. And I want to wish everyone a good day, a good rest of the day, and we'll see where we go.
All right. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned. Have a good day, everyone.